Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another daily devotion here at Woodlawn Christian Church. This devotion is being recorded for Thursday, April 7th of 2022. And we are in Matthew's Gospel. We're working our way through Matthew. We're in the ninth chapter. Today we want to talk about verses 27 to 34 in the ninth chapter. And interestingly, we have two stories here that are not in the other synoptics. Many of the stories we talk about Mark being one of the source Gospels for both Matthew and Luke, and then the source called Q, which is Quilla in German, meaning source. That Matthew and Luke get a lot of their information from that, as well as Mark. But we've mentioned before, I believe, when we started this in Matthew, that Matthew had another source as well from what Luke had. Some call it the Logia. I've heard it called the M source for Matthew, but it's another source. Whether it's written or it's oral, we don't know. But these two stories that we want to talk about today, they're not in Mark and they're not in Luke. Only Matthew has these two stories. So let's take a look at them and see what we can come up with from that. Chapter 9 of Matthew's Gospel, verses 27 to 34. As Jesus went on from there, two blind men followed him, crying loudly, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." When he entered the house, the blind men came to him, and Jesus said to them, "Do you believe that I am able to do this?" They said to him, "Yes, Lord." Then he touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." And their eyes were opened. Then Jesus sternly ordered them, "See that no one knows of this." But they went away and spread the news about him throughout that district. After they had gone away, a demoniac who was mute was brought to him. And when the demon had been cast out, the one who had been mute spoke. And the crowds were amazed and said, "Never has anything like this been seen in Israel." But the Pharisees said, "By the ruler of the demons, he casts out the demons." Okay, so we have two stories here. And remember, we just got done with some healing yesterday, and we were dealing with uncleanliness here. We don't have that issue per se here now, but Jesus has just left from raising the girl from the dead, for Jairus' daughter from the dead, and he's gone apparently back to his home. But these two blind men, and there's many stories of healing blind men, but these two ones, again, are only in Matthew. They follow him, and they don't ask to be cured of their blindness. They say, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." They know who Jesus is. They, the blind that cannot see, unlike the Pharisees later, when we get down into this next story, who should be able to see. They can see visually, with their eyes, but they don't see who Jesus is. These blind men see who Jesus is. They know who he is. They recognize him as the Son of David, the Messiah, the promised one. And they ask for mercy. They ask to have to be cured of their sins, to be forgiven of their sins. That is what they're asking for. They're not asking to be healed. They're asking for God's mercy. And so he says, "Do you believe that? It's your faith." Again, we've talked about the faith yesterday with Jairus and with the woman hemorrhaging, that they were cured by their faith. And these two fellows are cured both of they're forgiven because of their faith. They're also cured of their blindness because of their faith. Their faith has made them well. And then we have Jesus telling them, sternly orders them not to tell anyone about this. This is what's called the messianic secret that runs through all three synoptics. We don't really understand why Jesus says this. Maybe because his time, he doesn't want to be misconstrued. People think that the coming Messiah is going to be a kingly figure. That's usually the explanation that's given. But we don't honestly really have a good answer for why Jesus always tells everybody to be quiet. But he does do it frequently. It's a pretty common thing in the synoptics. Then next Jesus comes to this, is brought to, rather, he doesn't come to, this demoniac is brought to him, this mute, this demon-possessed man that is mute, unlike the other demons, demonics that we dealt with earlier, where they were cursing and swearing and being quite demonstrative. This one has made this man unable to speak, and Jesus casts them out. But the demons, and two things are going on here. The demons always know who Jesus is. They always recognize him, and he always tells them to be quiet, doesn't he? Don't speak out. But the two things in these two stories, the blind men and the demoniac, the demon, those are two things that shouldn't know who Jesus are, but do. And then we have at the end of the story of the demoniac is the Pharisees. The people see this and they're amazed by this, but the Pharisees, they say the ruler of the demons are casting out demons, is what they see it as. They don't see it. They don't recognize Jesus for who they are. Of course, when we're reading this, we see, hopefully, we see who Jesus is. We recognize him as the Son of God, the messianic figure, the promised one, the Son of David. So that is what we get from this, is that those who should be able to see don't. That's a common theme throughout all of the Scripture. So that's what we have for today from this bit. Tomorrow we'll finish off the 9th chapter. It'll be a short one tomorrow for Friday, April 8th. But if you do like these videos, please do like and subscribe. We'd love to have you here more often, and feel free to share them if you wish. All right? With that, I'm going to let you go. Have a very blessed day, and please, 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 as I always say, be a blessing to someone today. Tell them about Jesus. That'd be a wonderful way to bless them, wouldn't it? That'd be the best way. God bless.